So, before the story begins, a few major things. I was born and raised in Guam, a small US territory out here in the Pacific Ocean. It's a beautiful island, really, and if you've never seen pictures of it, you definitely should look this place up. Anyway, I lived at my parents' house, which was up on a hill. Next door, we had a gas station. It was easily accessible from my house, so my dad even made a trail going from our house to the gas station. The trail at night was only illuminated by the gas station's lights. It was probably a good 100 feet from our house. My dad kept some trees on the side of the hill so that our house was invisible from the gas station unless you started walking up the trail itself. Now, this happened back when I was a teenager in high school. Our house was a small 2-bedroom, 1 bath with a small kitchen and living room. If you walked into the house, the kitchen is directly to the left and the living room to the right. I didn't have a room of my own yet because my brother still lived at home at the time, so, of course, I was out in the living room talking to my boyfriend at the time because everyone in the house was asleep. It was about midnight when I told my boyfriend that I wanted a soda. We were in a 3-way call with his best friend, and I decided that I could be brave enough to walk out to the garage. My mom had recently bought a new fridge, so she put the old one in our garage as an outside fridge for my brother and dad when they went hunting. She knew I was chicken shit of the dark, so she always put the soda in the outside fridge. The fridge in the garage was only partially illuminated by our outside light, so I was always really scared to go out at night, to be honest. You could also see straight to the gas station where the trail was, so I was always scared of someone coming up and, maybe I wouldn't be able to see them. So, I thought since I was on the phone, I could work up the bravery to go and grab myself one. The fridge was only a few feet away. I was on the phone and it wasn't too late, so who cares? What the hell, right? I did it. I turned the outside light on, walked out, grabbed my soda, and started walking back towards my front door. I don't know what possessed me to look back, but I did, and I really wish I hadn't. Illuminated by the gas station lights was a man about 6 feet in height. I could see the outline of his body. I have terrible vision, so it took me a second to realize that it wasn't just a shadow. I stood and stared at him for what seemed like forever. Finally, I snap out of it and start walking backwards towards my front door. I hit my back on the door and freaked myself out, but he never moved. Just as I grab my doorknob, the guy starts sprinting towards me. I jump up and slam the door closed, lock it, and hide behind my fridge inside. My living room has huge windows, and they were open, letting the night air in. I'm about to shit myself when I hear footsteps outside my front door. "Hey, beauty. I know you're in there. I can smell you." At this point, I'm pissing my pants. How the fuck does this guy know who I am? Why is he here? We have a small kitchen window that looks directly to the inside of the garage. It also has a curtain, so you can't see inside, but it was open as well. "I can see you. I smell you. I wonder how good you'd smell up close." At this point, I'm fucking losing my shit. I'm crying so hard to the point where I forget I was on the phone with my boyfriend, who is now screaming my name. I sit back for a second and decide that I'm running to my parents' room down the hall. I wake up my dad as calm as I can while muttering and shaking only, saying, "There's someone outside." My dad wakes up my mom. She hangs up on my boyfriend and calls 911, screaming at the operator to send somebody over. My dad grabs his .22 from the shelf and walks to the living room. This dude had his arm sticking in through our living room window trying to undo our front door lock. My dad yells that he has a gun and that if he doesn't leave, he's going to shoot immediately. He retracts his arm and starts hooking it back towards the trail. My dad runs out after him, but when he makes it to the trail, the guy's nowhere to be found. To this day, I keep all my windows locked, and I never go out at night by myself. I still live in Guam, but I leave in about 7 months. My husband and I have decided to relocate to the States. This guy was never caught. He stalked me for 5 years after this incident. I have more stories that I'm willing to share, but this one was the beginning and one of the worst nights of my life.